USC fans, the search is on for a new head football coach. Ole Muschamp is out. Sports director Reggie Anderson joins us now live in studio with more. Reggie.
Yeah, the Ole Muschamp era is over. The Gamecock head football coach was fired tonight after his team's third straight loss, which dropped them to 2-5 on the season. Mike Bobo takes over as the interim head coach. And here's a look back at the Ole Muschamp tenure here in Columbia. Ole Muschamp was introduced as the new Gamecock head football coach in December of 2015. He had been the head coach at Florida for 4 years before being fired. But after 1 year as Auburn's defensive coordinator, Muschamp got a second chance running his own program in the SEC. And on the day he was hired, he talked about the lessons he learned in Gainesville.
Well, I think, as much as anything, having a year to be able to reflect and have some perspective on some things that we did extremely well at Florida. Obviously, there's some things I'd like to have done differently, sure, but you go back and you take the information you had at the time, why you made the decision. There's some things we could have done differently, but we did a lot of good things as well, and we'll build on those things here.
Surely, you've got to be a better coach today than you were 4 years ago, I would think.
Well, there's no doubt. I mean, as much as anything, it's like a freshman playing. As the season grows on, as they move into their sophomore year, the game slows down for them a little bit. You anticipate things a little bit better in the process, and that's certainly something that I've been able to see in my time, even at Florida, of being able, the anticipation of issues within the roster, within the staff, within the situation, within the season, and those things happen for you.
Muschamp's first season saw a 3-win improvement from the Steve Spurrier-Sean Elliott campaign of 2015. His first signature win came over a Tennessee team that, while was stumbling coming into Columbia, was still ranked 22nd in the country. The following year, a lot of excitement as the Gamecocks seemingly were on the road to being a factor in the Eastern Division. In fact, the 5-3 conference mark was good enough for solo second in that division. The season ended in Tampa, a come-from-behind win over Michigan in the Outback Bowl. So a 9-4 record in Muschamp's second season in Columbia had Gamecock fans thinking that the program was once again on the rise. Now his third year in 2018, a 7-6 record, ending with a disappointing shutout loss to Virginia in the Belk Bowl. And then the fourth season kicked off once again in Charlotte, a return to that area, and it was another disappointing loss to an ACC team, this time to North Carolina. But then later in October, a crazy scenario in Athens. The Gamecocks knocked off third-ranked Georgia 20-17 in double overtime. But the Gamecocks could not build off that victory, and they would lose 5 of their last 6 games to finish at 4-8. The last game of the season, the final meeting between Dabo and Muschamp at midfield, at least concerning this rivalry. So this year, 2020, a 10-game SEC-only schedule due to COVID-19, and one theory that was being floated was the fact that the huge $13 million buyout and the COVID-19 climate might provide Muschamp some cover for 2020. But that was contingent on not suffering those 3 embarrassing losses in consecutive fashion, one of which was the worst home loss at Williams-Brice Stadium since 2003. So with 2 wins this season, Muschamp's final record at South Carolina, 28-30 overall, 17-20 in the SEC. Now this guy brought fire and energy and passion to the Gamecock program. He had a reputation as a relentless recruiter and one of the top defensive minds in the country. But for whatever reason, Muschamp has yet to crack the code of what it takes to be a successful and consistent winner as a head coach, and now only time will tell if he gets a third shot at running his own program.